So we're going to shift into the digital world now. And we have John Biancamano, who's a many-year, I don't know how many exactly, but web expert, and will help us understand how websites can be developed for finding customers and selling them. So this microphone seems to work. I'm going to turn it over to you. 10 minutes.
I'm actually better without a microphone. Can you all hear me? Yes. All right, I'm better without a microphone because I'm a walker and I'm a talker and I'm Italian, so. Yeah, I will. All right, let me figure out where this is. Okay. There we go. Okay. So a little bit about me. I've been in the corporate world for about 30 years. Had positions, like Dan, I started out in engineering. Had positions in product development, sales, and marketing, and focused over the last 15 years or so, both on traditional marketing and on digital marketing. I work primarily, I have my own company. I started about 6 months ago. I started my own consulting company, and I work primarily in the B2B space, a lot with digital technology companies. And I am also a member of the Princeton chapter of SCORE, so I'm a small business mentor as well. So, how many of you that own a business, currently own a business, have a website? All right, of those of you who have a website, how many feel you're getting sales from that website? Yeah, much smaller percentage, right? Okay. So that's what we're going to talk about. We're not going to talk about the technical details about how to build a website. We're going to talk about how to get people, convert people from visitors and viewers into sales leads. And I'm going to talk about in 10 minutes some of the things that you need to have on your website to try and make that happen. Inc. Magazine did a survey about a year ago and found that over 50% of the small businesses that they surveyed don't have a website. Some of the excuses were, I don't have time, it's going to cost too much, and as a consultant I can tell you that that's a big objection from people, from small businesses. I don't do business online, why should I have an online presence, right? Or I don't know where to start. In that survey, they also found that of those people that do have a website, they reached a larger audience, they increased their sales, they reduced time-consuming phone calls, they brought more people into the stores, it's a retail location, and on and on and on. A lot of benefits to having a website. Can somebody tell me why a website is so important?
Credibility.
Fast exposure.
Yeah. Credibility.
Right.
Okay.
Right. Customers expect one. I think if you meet somebody new, what's the first thing you're going to do? You're going to go online to find out what they're all about, right? And number one, if they don't have a website, they don't have credibility. And if they have a website and it's crappy, they still don't have credibility, right? If you take away nothing more from my presentation, this is what I want you to walk away with. Your website is about marketing. It's not about technology. You got to know some technology to get it on and get it running, but your website is the center of all your online marketing activity. Whether you're doing paid ads, you're doing search, you're doing email, you're going to drive people back to your website. Well, you can do one of two things. You're going to either drive people back to your website, or if you have a retail location, you're going to drive people to your retail, your brick and mortar store as well. The most important thing, remember, your website is your online business card. It's going to tell people what you do, and it's going to help them find you. It's also going to help you convert them from visitors to sales leads. So the first thing you do, once you've gotten registered with a hosting site and you've decided what you want to call yourself and you got your domain all set up, you're going to put content on your website. Now, content is obviously the most important thing because, number one, this is how people are going to find you through search engine results. It's also going to give you credibility. If you don't have good content and you don't have easy-to-find content and easy-to-read content online, people that come to your site are not going to know what you do. Your whole website needs to tell a story. So if you're doing a blog on an XYZ company, everything that you do has to talk about that story. Your products, your blog, everything that you need to do has to tell a story about who you are online. There can't be any disjointed pages on there. You can talk about promotional stuff. You can talk about education. Educational things is one of the best ways to get people to visit your site. People go online and they go online to shop for things, and a lot of times they're not educated in what they need. You providing information for them on your website is going to give you credibility as a trusted supplier for that product. So content is important. So now you're a small business, you've got your website online, you got your hosting service all set, you got your content on, and actually this is supposed to come in two ways. It's supposed to animate, but it doesn't. So you sit back 3 months later, 6 months later, where are all the sales calls, right? Nothing is happening. People think, okay, I'm going to put my website online, and all of a sudden people are going to come in and visit me, they're going to come and give me calls. It doesn't happen. Okay? You need to promote your website. It's not enough just to have content on there. So once you've got the content on there, the first thing you need to do is figure out how to let my target audience know that I exist. If you don't do that, you might as well forget about the website because you've just wasted all your time and money doing it, right? You're going to promote it through several ways. Promote through email content. If you don't have an email list, as a new business, you start to build an email list. You're going to promote it through social media. If you don't have a social media presence, you get online and start to do social media. It takes time. You can build relationships with partners and industry publications to try and give you some backlinks, credible backlinks, that will help promote your site online. Okay, so I built this content, I promoted it, and I got people coming to my site. So what? I can build awareness for myself, but it stops there. If all I do is put information on my website, all I do is have a blog, or if all I do is talk about the products that I sell, and I do nothing more than that, people are not going to respond to me. They're not going to contact me. They're not going to engage with me. And online marketing and social media are all about engagement. You've got to add calls to action throughout your website. And the simplest call to action that many people have is a contact me button, right? Contact us, right? That's the simplest form of engagement. You want to go beyond that. So a call to action is really just a way to get people to do something. And then act of doing something is called a conversion. It's a way to get people to do a desired action. Here's some examples. Here's one from the SCORE website. Request a mentor, right? Request a meeting with a mentor. That's a call to action. You push that button and you get access to filling out information and having somebody follow up with you or actually scheduling an event. The second one there, very familiar, from Amazon.com. It's an e-commerce site. Add to the shopping cart. Right? Sign up for a newsletter. Download a white paper. Download a ebook. Whatever it is, you want to get people to start doing something on your website, not just viewing your website. Viewing is great because it builds awareness, but it doesn't generate enough leads. You need to start converting people from visitors to sales leads. Okay. Social media. There are two things that you need to do on your website with regards to social media. Number one is have social media buttons where visitors can click on to find your social media sites, whether that be Facebook, Twitter, Google+, LinkedIn, whatever it is. That's the top one. If I click on one of these buttons, it's going to take a visitor to my social media site. That's only part of it. The second thing, and the most important thing, is you need to be able to share your content with other people. So you want to have social media share buttons, and whether that be Facebook or Twitter or LinkedIn or whatever it happens to be. For instance, if you have a blog, part of that page for that blog post is going to include social media share buttons. So if I like something, I'm going to share it on LinkedIn or wherever. So not only am I going to see it, but everybody who's connected with me on the social media sites are going to see the same thing. And this is where things tend to start to happen because it's a domino effect. I don't want to say it goes viral because it's not quite that. It can, but it doesn't always happen that way. But it's a domino effect. So you start with one, they like it, it goes to their followers, they like it, it goes to their followers, and then all of a sudden, for free, you start to get a lot of people noticing your content, your website. They come, more people visit your website, more opportunity you have for converting them to leads. Responsive web design. Responsive web design is a technique for A web page in a responsive web design, I'll show you an example in a minute, actually changes, the layout changes to accommodate the size of the screen. Mobile is very important. I believe just this year, mobile search has exceeded desktop search in Google search engines. Google came out with a new revision to one of their algorithms about 2 months ago, where if you don't have a good mobile site, you're going to get Bing in the mobile search results. You're not going to get as high search results. You're going to get penalized for it. So mobile is very important. One of the easiest ways to do it is with a responsive web design. And again, I'll show you that in a second. 10 seconds. 10 seconds? Okay. So, on the left is my website, full screen. On the right is if you see it on a smaller screen. So you can see how everything folds and collapses on itself. And that's normal. You can do that very easily with the design. If you have an e-commerce site, a responsive web design is not the best thing for you because you don't always get the best layout for it. If you have an e-commerce site, you might want to get a dedicated mobile site. So I'll talk a little bit quicker. Mobile site here, okay. Responsive web design, RWD, is popular, but again, if you need a dedicated mobile site for e-commerce especially, you want to do that. You want to have a separate site hosted for that. Local search, if you're a local business, make sure your website's optimized for local search. Quickly, I can give you some information later at the table. And the very last thing, actually second to last thing, web analytics. It's important for you to understand what's happening with your website. You want to, not everything you do first go around on your website is going to be perfect. You want to be able to make changes. One of the nice things in digital marketing and online space, you can make changes. You can see what's going on through analytics, and you can make changes very quickly. And you can see what customers respond to and what they don't respond to. And last thing, talk quickly about some resources for small businesses. Those of you who don't have a website and thinking about going to get one, Google has a service called Get Your Business Online, and they provide free website hosting, free website and hosting for 1 year. And each state has its own version of Get Your Business Online. They've also got a new thing called Put Our Cities on the Map, and they've got special websites for some 30,000 cities throughout the U.S. that'll help small businesses get their name on the website. It's a brand new, relatively new service, so I don't know how extensive it is, but Get Your Business Online has been a fairly successful program for them. And I think that's the end of it for me.
Quick question.
Yes.
If it can be answered in a brief period of time, what about return on investment? How long should it take
That's the
to get satisfaction? I spent $11,000 in website development over a year.
Okay.
I got back maybe $6,000 in volume.
So the question is, it really all depends on what you do, okay, on your site. If you just have
No e-commerce.
no
Just
e-commerce,
bring customers in.
it really depends on how you promote your site, and it's not only just your website, but also on social media. So if you got a retail store, you want to do things like giving promotions and running contests maybe to get people to your retail store. Okay. You also have to promote within your retail store. You have to promote your website and your social media location. So it's a give and take, two-way communication. You got to promote that to let people know to go there to see what they can get as far as free, maybe some free coupons and stuff like that. It's a difficult question to answer until I see your site.
Suggestion is that you take that to the website, the breakout site, so you can have a private conversation.
Okay.
John, thank you very much.
Thanks. Okay.